Hello friends, happy Friday. It's Friday Sews. A little bit of life, a little bit of sewing. I'm so happy you're back. I hope you've had a wonderful week. And if you're new to my channel, please, I welcome you to hit the subscribe button, thumbs up, and hit the little bell to be notified when I make a new video. I appreciate that when you do that. It's really just a nice little vote of confidence. So thank you for that. I want to wish you a happy weekend for Memorial Day. But I'm a little torn in doing so because it's Memorial Day. We are going to be honoring the memory of those who served in our armed forces and paid the full price with their life and died. So I want to just say a special blessing to all of those people and their families. It's such a sacrifice, and just being in the service is a sacrifice. So thank you to those who have served or are serving. Blessings to all of you and this Memorial Day weekend. So I know we're going to have happy times with barbecuing and family, but if you take just a moment to say a little prayer for those who gave all. Thank you for that. Okay, so let's dig into some sewing, because I actually did some sewing, and it was an iffy thing that I was even going to because I wasn't in the mood. Do you ever get like that? And you're just like, I'm just not in the mood. I don't want to make anything. I'm just not in the mood. There's all this stuff I think about making, but I don't want to make it. I have all these patterns. Like it would fill this table, and they all looked meh to me. Nothing was exciting. Nothing just made me want to get in there and make something. But you know, I did want to make something, and I thought I just need to push myself a little. So I had those patterns I showed you last week on Friday Sews, and I picked one. This one. This one is New Look 6669. I don't know. I wasn't excited about it. I don't like this picture on her. She's beautiful, but I just don't like the dress on her. I don't think it's super great. I know that it's a flattering look on me because it's the fit and flare. It's the same with the center panel and the two side panels. It gives you that little curve. And I love bows, and it has bows on the shoulders. So I decided to make this, but I wasn't excited. I decided, but not excited. So I pulled out the pattern and I started to look at it, and I don't know, it just didn't look right. It had one of those shelfy bra things, and I don't like those. You know how a tank top can have that? I don't like those. And I thought, do I have to put that in? And I'm like, I have to. I kind of make myself follow the instructions, at least on the first dress, because there's reasons why they do stuff. And I can tell you, having made this dress, there's a reason why that shelf bra is there. Because, excuse me, these ties, you know, they need it needs to be there. That's the way I came up with it for the ties. The other thing was I looked at finished measurements, and the largest size on here was still smaller than my waist. I wear like a 14 in stores, but none of these waists are that. They just don't match me. I have a big waist for my size. Always have, no matter what size I am. Waist is still big for my size. These patterns are made for a girl who goes in at the waist, and I just don't. So I thought, I don't want to make a whole dress and have it be tight at the waist. I hate that. So I took the extra time, laid out the tissue, and I took my measuring tape and I measured all the panels, added them up, and it was the exact number they gave for the finished garment. So it was smaller than my waist. And I thought, I'm not going to like that if I make a whole dress and it's tight in the waist. But it is stretchy material, and maybe it'll work. So I decided to move forward. When I made this dress, it's a knit, so I used my serger for the most part. All the side seams and everything. And so what I did is I just didn't push it all the way to the seam allowance. So I had a little bit of extra give, extra ease, by not using the whole seam allowance. That helped make it a little bigger. I got to tell you, the minute I had all the side seams, you have to make the sleeves last. So I put it on my dress form. Have you guys seen my dress form? I made my own dress form a few years ago, and I have a whole video of me putting it together. It was one of the hardest projects I ever did, and I love it so much. I put the dress on her. That's my body. That dress form is measured to me. So if it fits her, it fits me. And I thought, let's just try it on her since there's no way to hold it up. And I just pinned the shoulders onto her and wasn't sure how this was going to fit. So I pinned it on my dress form. I thought it was going to be too tight right here, but it looks like it's going to flow really nicely. So I don't know what I did there, but So I'm definitely going to complete it. I think it's going to be really pretty, actually. It fit. It was beautiful. I'm in love with this dress. I thought it wasn't going to be long enough. It's long enough. It's just amazing. This dress turned out amazing. I'm so happy with it. It has pockets, it has bows at the shoulders. So I am so happy I made this dress. You know, I transferred it to my own pattern paper, so now I have my own paper pattern, and I literally didn't change anything except for not pushing it all the way into the 5/8 inch. I just went right along the edge, which gave me a little bit of extra. I probably could even go in a little further. It's not even close to tight. It's very flowy. And it's super pretty. I want to make this dress again. Like right now. Like I want to turn off that camera and make that dress again. Right now. I'm ready. It's like once I make something and it's done, I want to make it again right then. Because I know how. I've got all my patterns already laid out. It's all cut out. I want to make this dress again. It's so pretty. I feel like I would just wear this anytime. Like around the house with flip-flops or going somewhere nice out to lunch. I mean, this could be dressed up or down. And it's just super cool with these ties. I just love these ties. And I had a few scraps, so I made myself an extra tie. And it could be like, I think it could be a headband, or it could go around my hat with a little bow, or tie it on my purse. And with that thought in mind, I wanted to share this. Do you have one of these? If you don't have one of these, you kind of need this. It's really handy. I don't even know, like I've talked about this many times where I actually just collect supplies without even knowing what they are. I wasn't even really sure. I knew it was for turning stuff, but I never used it. And so I thought, well, I got all these to turn. I'll use this. And this little thing is amazing. You just stick this little tube in your tube, and then you push with a little pusher. Done. It's turned. Just push, done. Just like that. Instead of safety pinning. Pushing that little tiny safety pin all the way through. Oh my gosh. Highly recommend this. The other thing that I did with this dress is I took some advice. You guys, I don't know if one or more of you gave me this advice, but it was good advice, was to put some interfacing in my twin needle hem. This is the best twin needle I have done so far. I am always going to do it this way. I didn't cut interfacing like, oh my gosh, I forgot your name. You suggested that I cut the interfacing because it saves money, but I had a bunch of this. I don't even know why. I've had this for years. It was in a drawer. Stem Stitch Witchery, regular weight, fusible bonding web for hems, trims, belts, blah, blah, blah. I have like 6 of these just sitting there. It didn't cost me anything using them up. So I used this. I ironed it on. I serged it first, ironed it on, and then I just went did the twin needle, and I don't have any skipping. None. That was all I needed. And it's still stretchy. And it has this nice neatness to it that the others, like this one, does not have. This is one of my customized fit and flare dresses that I talked about a couple weeks ago. Oh gosh, I love this dress so much. I have 2 of them. I have several that are kind of like this, but with the hoodie and this exact dress, I have 2 of them. I would like to have 10. Now I think I want a bunch of these. I'm a repeat maker. Like I like to repeat make things. So that's my sewing news, and I want to make another one of these. Like I'm obsessed with the idea of making another one of these right now. How cute would this be? Oh my gosh. I'm excited. So my plan, another one of these, you'll probably see another one of these next Friday. I don't know. I've got some other things I want to make too, but it's like once this passion takes over, you just got to do it, right? Before I move on to life, I wanted to talk about this. Can you see it? Oh my gosh, you know what this is? Do you know what this is? It's my cutting board. Oh my gosh, I've been wanting to do this for a while. I had this idea that I would just put some contact paper on it. It's was kind of trash looking. I mean, I've used it a lot, and I am in love with this. I did it this morning. You just press it on, and I used a ruler to kind of I still have a couple of bubbles. Used a ruler to get all the bubbles out, and I still plan on cutting on it. Can't be any worse than what it was. It was pretty cut up, pretty beat up looking, and I just love this. So, contact paper. That's all it was. I got it on Amazon. And I knew I wanted the kind of Barney wood looking thing, and I kind of lined them up a little. They're kind of not perfect, but I'm not a perfectionist, so there is that. So I talked about my pattern, talked about my dress. I wanted to talk about this because I mentioned probably a few weeks ago that it was time for me to get a suntan, and I'm super fair. I really just mostly burn out in the sun, and I just don't I get hot. I don't like being out in the sun. I'm not a suntanner, but I like having a suntan. I just think it just feels so summery. And so I use a sunless self-tanner. And every time I fall in love with a self-tanner, they quit making it. I buy the department store usually. I think my last one was Lancome, and they cut the whole line. So I was on the search again, and I hate it because it's expensive. You got to buy them, but if you go to the department store, you can return. So I went to the department store and I bought some Clinique. They had two kinds, one for darker skin and one for lighter skin, and I'm very much the lighter skin, and yet I bought both and tried them both, and I tried them on my tummy where I'm super white, and it was like the lighter one for lighter skin did nothing. And the one for darker skin was just a tiny little shadow, looked like a bruise. Wasn't suntanny or glowy or anything cute. So I took those back, and then I bought Clarins. And I didn't even try Clarins because it smelled icky. I just didn't like the smell. It was maybe something you would like, but I did not like it. And I thought, I'm not putting that on my body because then I have to smell it all the time. I'd just be like, bleh. It needs to smell good to me. So then I saw an ad for a local beauty shop was selling Nu Skin. So I went and bought that and tried it on a place that I hadn't tried yet, and nothing. I mean, it was just like barely there, and it didn't have any tint, so you had to wait to find out if anything was going to happen. The Lancome had a nice tint, so you had an instant tan, and then as that washed off, the glow of the self-tanner started to show up. So I went to Amazon, I went to Google, and they recommended an Amazon product, and I bought two bottles of this creamy gooey stuff that had the tint, which was like one of my prerequisites, but it was like green. So it went on green, and it looked green so you could see it, but it's ew. You got to get that off. So I didn't like those. I had two of those shades, and I didn't like those. And then I got this one. So I'm no longer looking. I'm keeping this one. I'm not going to say it's perfect. I still have issues around my feet and stuff, but you know what? In real sun tanning, I get that too with like flip-flops and stuff. So I'm not worried about it. Real tans aren't perfect either. This is Beauty by Earth Self Tanner. It says it's natural ingredients. It's got great reviews, and I would add to that. My review would be great as well. This smells so good. It smells like summer. It just smells lovely. And it goes on like a really nice moisturizer, and it doesn't dry out my skin, which a lot of self-tanners do. I mean, maybe a little down the road, but because as you're tanning, but maybe that's just the tan making you look that way. But all I know is this one I love. It's a really good color on me. It gets like a goldeny color, which is what a tan ought to be, not gray or green. And so I recommend it. I don't know if I have a link. If I have a link, I'll put it. If I have a link that I could get credit for, I'll put it in there. Otherwise, I'll just put the link. I do have something on Amazon where I can get credit. I just don't know how to work it. But if I put a link and I can work it, I will say so. Otherwise, it's just the link if you want to try it. So I told you about this, told you about this. Let's talk about this. I talked a few weeks ago about how we do the phone book cover with our photography and the inside story, and we've been doing this for 20 something years, and it's my husband's the photographer, so it's always his picture, but he was a little low on pictures. He had 2 or 3, and I thought he should have 5 at least to show them, so I threw in a couple of mine, 2 or 3 of mine, just to fill it out. I didn't expect them to pick mine. They picked mine. I didn't even believe it. Like, I didn't even believe that my picture would be worthy of being on a phone book cover, but here it is. That's my picture. I took that picture. I am so proud of it. I'm just so proud of it. It's like I'm published on a book, a phone book, but nonetheless, it's a book. And I always say, because I write the inside story, I'm like, I'm published in several books. phone books, but it is published. Okay, it's my story. So now I have the story and the cover. And I wanted to tell you one of the reasons they picked this is it's a really good picture, has some beautiful clouds, and it's just a nice view of this iconic mountain that's right in our area, and you can see it from the whole town, so everybody knows this mountain. And the owner of the phone company liked that it had a cross. See that cross? That's not a cross. I'm like, what cross? There's no cross. There's no cross. It's a telephone pole. But it looks like a cross to me too. Till you get looking really close, it's just a telephone pole. But you know what? We all think it's a cross and we like it. But if you don't want it to be a cross, it's a telephone pole. And the story on the inside is, ta-da! I just did a little history on the mountain, and we're in the Gold Rush area, so there's tons of history around here, and it was really fun doing some research and talking about it. And so, you know, inside these phone books, there's tons of great information. If you've never looked, no one ever looks, but man, this is a great story, if I may say so myself, and there's a lot of good information in everybody's phone book. Phone books are going away with all the digital stuff, I know, but I still like having the local stuff right there. I think I don't have a whole lot else going on. I've really been enjoying just being home, and I've been planting a lot of flowers. I'm not a good gardener at all. I'm really good at killing stuff, but if I pick out a flower and I get it planted, hubby will take care of it. Like, he does the watering. He's just good at it, and he just has a sense for it, and so I just leave it to him because I'll ruin it. I'll water too much or too little and they die. So it's just our little deal. So I have some really great flowers that he's been keeping. Oh my gosh, things are just growing like crazy right now, and so I've added to it, and I picked out some flowers for a little garden that we had set up last year for Mother's Day, and it just was a disaster. We had something eat it all, like a mole or something. So we're going again, planting some more, and I picked out some flowers, and I was just showing my mom on FaceTime, and she said, now those two right there are poisonous to your animals. What? I never thought of it. It was a digitalis or something like that, foxglove. I don't know. She looked it up on the internet and showed me, and I'm like, I did not know. Now I'm gonna have to look every time because I don't want it. Like, I don't want to even risk it for my animals. They're precious to me. I'm not planting poison, so those two aren't getting planted, but the rest are. And I thought I would say goodbye and leave you with a little video of my garden right now because it's super pretty, and just take you on a little tour and show you what's blooming right now. But it is about to get really good, like really crazy good. My roses have gone nuts. I mean, almost like a tree. It got so big. We're just wondering what's going to happen when they start blooming. Is this probably going to fall over? But I just thought I would take you on a little tour. I want to thank you so much for stopping by and visiting my channel. I so appreciate it, and I hope you're having a great day. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. Bye now.